All right, good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to look at writing the equation of a line given 2 points. Specifically, we're going to look at writing the line in the format of slope-intercept form, or y equals mx plus b, where m, in this case, represents the slope, and b represents the y-intercept, or where the line crosses the y-axis. So we have 2 points, and one thing we already know how to calculate between 2 points is the slope, which is one of our missing components in slope-intercept form. So step 1, we are going to calculate the slope. Calculate the slope. x1, y1, label our points, x2, y2, and plug them into our slope formula, which we recall our slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's plug in our values. 10 minus 4 over 5 minus 2. 10 minus 4 is 6. 5 minus 2 is 3, and we can simplify 6 over 3 to equal 2. So our slope for this line that passes between the points, through the points A and B, is 2. Step 2 now is I'm going to replace m in my slope-intercept form with 2. So replace m with the slope that we just calculated. Y equals 2x plus b. The next thing we need to calculate is our b value. The way we're going to do this is we're actually going to utilize these x and y values. In this case, this is a function. So x represents an input value, and y is the output that we get when we plug in some value for x. And we know that this is the equation of a line and that the line passes through the points A and B. So each of these x values is an input value and y is an output value that makes this equation true. So I'm going to replace either point A or point B in for x and a. So step 3, replace x and y with values from either point. Now we can't pick and choose. You cannot choose x1 and y2. You have to take either point A or point B. So I'm just going to pick point A. So instead of y, I'm going to replace it with 4. So 4 is equal to 2, my slope, times x, which in this case is 2, plus b. Now we can solve for b. Simplify, 2 times 2 is 4, and use the inverse operation. So our y-intercept in this case equals 0. So the final step is to write the equation, write our equation with the slope and y-intercept. So y is equal to 2x plus 0, but we don't really need to write that part because it's understood that y is equal to 2x is the same as 2x plus 0. So there we have our equation. Let's try another example. Say we had the points C and D, and we'll say C is at 4, 3, and D is at -4, 1. Again, we know we have y equals mx plus b, so first we're going to find the slope. x1, y1, x2, by 2. So 1 minus 3 over negative 4 minus 4. 1 minus 3 is negative 2, and negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. Recall from our integer rules that a negative divided by negative is positive, so this will become positive 2/8, and I can simplify this even further to 1/4. So the slope of the line that passes through the points C and D is 1/4. Now that we have the slope, we can replace that in our slope-intercept form. Y is equal to 1/4 x plus b. Again, we can choose points C or D to replace the x and y values. So I'm going to choose point D in this case, just because I think it looks a little easier to do the math. But if you choose point C, you will get the same answer, and I'll show you that in a minute. So we have y, in this case is 1, is equal to 1/4 times negative 4 plus b. Now I can cross cancel here. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1 plus b is equal to 1, and I'll use my inverse operations to solve for b. B is equal to 2. So in this case, the formula of the line that crosses through the points C and D has a y-intercept of 2 and a slope of 1/4. So we can write the equation as y equals 1/4 x plus 2. Now, like I said, if we used point C, we would get the same answer. So let's test it out, just so you can see. The slope is still the same. So let's try it if we evaluated this with points C. So x equals 4 and y equals 3. 1/4 x plus b. Again, this time x is 4, y is 3. So 3 is equal to 1/4 times 4 plus b. 1/4 times 4, cross cancel. Get 1 times 1 is 1 plus b equals 3. Subtract 1, and 2 is equal to b. So again, we have the same y-intercept. So the formula is y equals 1/4 x plus 2 again. So both points work. I hope this has been helpful for you in finding the equation of a line through two given points.